Hello everyone, you're welcome to another episode of Heartfelt with Drew, where I get to share insight, thoughts and lessons that I've kind of picked up from this thing called relationship. And I'm particularly excited about this episode because for the first time we are going to be having a guest on this show. He's a social expert, someone that has helped a lot of young people foster meaningful relationships. Join me as I welcome Dr. Bravo Umeh. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you.
It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm here.
So on this episode, we are going to be looking at the topic, what really counts in choosing a life partner. When it comes to the decision of, okay, who do I settle down with? Who do I marry? You see that a lot of people don't really know what to look out for. You've obviously been married for 15 years now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So at least you can be able to tell us one or two things. Let's start with your own personal experience now. When you were about settling down, what was your thought process like?
Yeah, well, one of the basic things I was looking out for is somebody I can grow up with.
Okay.
For me, it was one important factor. While there were a lot of other things, as a young person, there was a whole lot of other things I was thinking of. But the key factor was somebody I can grow up with. And for me, one of the basic definitions of who I can grow up with is somebody that is willing to learn.
Okay.
I knew at that point I didn't know everything, and I didn't expect her to also know everything, but I at least expected a willingness to learn. Okay. So, and that mattered a lot to me.
Okay. So moving on in the journey of the marriage, do you think that it was a very you were wise back then?
Yeah.
You think that you were wise to have looked out for this kind of trait? Did it actually matter in the long term?
Yes,
in the marriage?
yes. Yeah. Looking back, of course. Okay, maybe I should tell you a little bit of how I found her.
Okay.
And just briefly, one day I was walking the streets with a friend, and he was greeting some 3 girls. Mm-hmm. If you're conversant with University of Nigeria, Nsukka, that's where it happened, at a restaurant called Obakenzwa Ref.
Okay.
Now, we were walking in front of Obakenzwa Ref. This guy saw these 3 ladies from pharmacy, and we were greeting them. And there was this one, I said, wow, this girl is awesome. I just casually told him, man, I go make this girl my wife. So we just said it casually and then moved on. We greeted them, had a little pleasantries and moved on.
Okay.
Fast forward track, then so many other things started happening. Then I found her again. I said, and then I then began to pay attention. I began to, is this girl teachable? Because can I say this? There's this thing about pharmacy girls in those days. I don't know if it's still there now. They feel they are on top of the world. They feel they are untouchable. They are special.
Very, very proud set of people.
Very proud set of people.
Very proud, yes.
So when she's a pharmacist, and so it became very important.
Okay.
Is she in that class of girls that feel once you're a pharmacy student, you're proud, there's nobody that can tell you anything. Entitled, and once I have my certificate, I have everything. You can. So, but I found out she was not like that. Okay. And so, down the line, 15 years down the line, I'm so glad I made that decision.
When I was thinking about this topic, one of the things that came to my mind was that I looked at a lot of my friends that were married. I looked at a lot of my colleagues, and it seems as if that maybe it's me overthinking this, but I feel like to some extent they don't know the gravity of what this decision means. That means you will see somebody now, you go come gist me. Now more this babe get fine backside, it gets front side, I go wife her. In my mind I'm like, so you want to base your
lifelong decision
on what you're seeing, So how important do you think how important is this decision, and what do you think can be the consequence if somebody doesn't get this decision right?
First, it's important to also note that like there's an adage in Igbo language that says the eyes eats first. So for guys, it matters a lot what they perceive their lady to be.
Okay.
So we look at them first, get attracted first based on how they look.
Okay.
And then we get closer, and then we start looking at some other factors beyond the looks. Okay. But if you base your final decision just on looks, An accident can occur down the line, God forbid. A surgery can take place down the line. And of course, when baby starts coming, those shapes and those things you see will start changing.
Okay.
And so if you're basing your decision based on that physical attributes alone and these changes start occurring, you start losing your interest.
Okay.
So the physical attributes are good enough just to attract.
Okay.
But I don't think a wise person should base a final decision just on that.
Okay.
But it's good to have it.
Okay. So the looks is very important.
Very important.
But also beyond the looks, you should make sure that the content is
there should be something else beyond the looks.
Interesting. One of the things my dad told me, and he's still telling me today, is Awabumawai. In Igbo language, Awabumawai. So he was telling me that, you see, all these physical attraction, these things doesn't matter. You get that the physical attributes of a lady doesn't matter. That is the same thing, that you should go for character. So do you feel that physical attraction, how important do you feel it is? Do you feel we should completely neglect it and go for character? What's your take on it?
Obviously not. From experience and from a number of things that I've seen, if you choose a woman just on character, which is very perfect, very okay, the character part, but then you're going to live with a human being.
Okay.
And there is another aspect of marriage that people don't usually talk about, which is what the young people are exploiting these days, and that's the sex part.
Okay.
They tell you after all is in the night, you don't even see the person you're having sex with. But for Christ's sake, I don't think if she's smelling, you want to have the best of the sex. I don't think so these other things, the physical looks, the attributes, they encourage you. See, one of the problems I've noticed with some of the older generation, they are married not for the looks. Okay. Either God said or the character and all that, and they marry the person, and then they come inside and they're just cohabiting. They are just there to procreate and probably to fulfill their spiritual obligations. But there is this other part, the marital obligation, that so many of them are not able to fulfill. And so that person, that interest, that physical attribute part, that person, the person appeals to you,
okay,
I believe is a factor that can keep that relationship going. There's something somebody said. He said that the love doesn't make a marriage, but love is an engine oil that is used in a marriage.
Okay.
So you can decide to run your engine without the engine oil.
You go knock.
And you keep going to a mechanic and keep fixing it.
Yes.
But if you have an engine oil, enough engine oil, the right type of engine oil, your engine runs smoothly.
Okay.
But it's not, the engine is not the engine oil.
Okay.
A lot of young people feel once you have love, you can marry. That's not the point. But without love, you run on iron to iron.
It's very difficult. Very difficult.
The two factors are important. You should not neglect one and leave the other.
Okay. So I'll put you on the spot now. I'll put you on the spot. Okay. Between character and chemistry now, which one would you rate? Which one would you rate higher? Between character and chemistry, if you ever have to decide.
I pray I don't get to that point. But if I do, I'll pick character.
Character.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah. So my dad is not wrong actually.
It wasn't wrong. It's just that he didn't give you the full gist. It wasn't wrong.
Another thing I want us to talk about is this. Obviously, I've heard this saying, marry your friend a lot, marry your friend a lot. And I've had some other people say you can marry someone and make them your friend. What do you think? Should you find somebody that is already your friend, that you have a rapport with, that you're comfortable gisting with? Or do you just, find somebody, meet somebody, just like you said, God told me, I married the person, and now somewhere between now and then and in the marriage, just try to, get the friendship going. What do you think?
Okay, before I answer that, since you are bringing in God into this, and then, when I say I'm a biased a spiritual person. I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
And so let me go back to the previous question. You asked about chemistry and character.
Character, yeah.
I'll give you a Bible verse
Okay.
and then explain it. Proverbs 31:30
Okay.
says that charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting.
Okay.
But a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. So you see where your dad is coming from.
Yes. Yeah.
Charm is deceptive. Charm changes a lot of things. And then I like the way my pastor said, he said charm is for sale.
Okay.
If you don't like the size of the boobs, you can augment it. You don't like the size of the bum, you can augment it. You can get makeups, you can do a whole lot of all those things. So the physical attributes can be augmented.
Okay.
But character is difficult to train.
Okay.
It's somebody that doesn't have it from scratch. They say the fool at 40 is a fool forever. So it's difficult to learn character at old age. You notice everybody that God uses, or God used in the Bible, He will tell you the spiritual attributes of a person, and also give you an idea about the person's physical attributes. So the physical looks play a role. Okay, then marrying your friend. It's a long-standing saying, marry your friend, and I believe he has also been bastardized. It's always also very misunderstood. Let me take us through a little short process. For us, we believe there are 4 steps in a relationship. Okay. There's a friendship, there is a courtship, there's an engagement, and there's marriage. And I advise everybody to go through these processes. You jump one, you still have to go back to it somewhere down the line. Okay. But the friendship part itself has 4 other processes. Wow. And for example, you have an acquaintance. Somebody you know, you don't even know anything about the person. Probably the person lives on your street. Okay. In the morning, good morning, neighbor, good morning. Nothing else about the person, just an acquaintance. Somebody in your faculty, somebody in your department at work, somebody in your office. You just know the person. Then beyond the acquaintance, you have, I don't know what they call the second stage, a close friend, I think. And that stage is where you probably know the person's name. Okay. And at that stage, something is not bringing you guys together. For guys, Chelsea probably brought them together. Or Manchester United.
Chelsea, Arsenal.
Something brought them together. So, my friend, my guy. He also probably doesn't know the person's name. But there's now something bringing you guys together. So, probably if you're a student, you fail the course together. And so they are writing letters for people that have failed the course, and you're writing letter together. So something is now bringing, is no more a distant person. They are now together. And beyond that point, you now begin to, especially if that point lasts a little bit long. Usually it's pain or joy, excitement that brings people together at that point. So you get to the next level where you now start sharing visions. If this thing had not happened, I would have done this. If this thing happened, I would have done this. So there are a lot of things you now start sharing. Visions, something ahead, something. And then in the process, there are certain visions, short-term visions you share, and then you miss it. It leads you to the last stage, which is an intimate friendship. But of course, you need to understand that intimate friendship is not about sex. Intimacy has nothing to do with sex. It's just that we are putting in sex to add to the intimacy. At that point, you're not sharing the past. You're sharing failures of the past, mistakes of the past, things you missed in the past. Because that past is what people usually do not want to talk about. That's where vulnerability comes in. So you need to talk about things let's start opening up a little bit to the person. Now, you will not be able to open up fully if you don't have a history with the person. So that's the challenge of just meeting somebody and marrying the person. You meet a person and marry the person. You don't have a history. You don't have a past you shared. You don't have vulnerability issues. You don't even know what to open up to. Because a lot of people have some very dark past that, So, and if you don't open up, trust issues begin to come up. And you can't really move on. You'll be having roadblocks all along the way. So, in answering that question, it's not a simple yes. I've seen people that met and in 6 months are married. And they're having a beautiful relationship. I've seen people that had a relationship for 7 years, married and divorced after 1 year. It's not about the duration, it's about learning the things you are supposed to learn before you say I do. One of the biggest principles, the first principles of choosing a life partner, and one of the most important principles of choosing a life partner is knowledge. knowledge of the institution, because the marriage is an institution. You need to understand, if you're coming into any university, any school, any society, you need to understand that society.
Okay.
People get into the relationship without even knowing the institution, without knowing what the values, what is all about.
Yes.
And so, knowledge of the institution is one. Knowledge of yourself. Is this something I can do? Is this something, for example, you find people that get married, they don't think about the third party. When I talk about the third party, I'm not talking about friends and relatives. I'm talking about the child that's going to come into that relationship.
Yes.
Just pregnancy alone changes the equation. How much more when a child comes in? I'll give you an example. You know, my wife gets one day was looking for a comb.
Okay.
Her comb. Where's my comb? Where's my comb? So I just casually said, ask Pearl. Pearl is my daughter. Ask Pearl. Ask Pearl, where's my comb? So, Mommy, is it the one that Judah used to comb Hero? Hero is my dog. So I know, and this is her prize comb. This is her special comb. And these kids use it to go and comb the dogs. So are you ready for that kind of life where these kids scatter your life, literally scatter your life? You have plans of what you want to do. As you're about to leave the house, somebody said, Mommy, I want to poo-poo. From where? You just poo-poo and away go. Which one is it you want to poo-poo again? So that knowledge, that understanding that of yourself, can I carry the responsibilities that come? Not financial yet.
Yes.
These responsibilities, can I carry them? This other guy, or whatever, my spouse, is he also, how much do I know him?
Yes. Okay.
I'll give you an example of something we talk about. Things like, we just talked about past. What are things like medical history? If this guy, for example, has a medical history that you need to sit up for, I'm trying to think of one. Maybe had a surgery and then has been taking medications and something. And then, is this something you're willing to help him go through or help her go through? Or because these are, you need to know where is it coming from, what kind of, for example, my mom is diabetic.
Okay.
Even though my dad didn't know by the time they married, well, that kind of a thing. Now he's having to deal with diabetic patients, and sometimes diabetic meals in the house, and sometimes hospital visits and all those kind of things. So how much of this person do you know?
Okay.
And then I've said how much of the marriage institution, how much of yourself, how much of the person do you know. And I feel it's at least these three. There are a lot of other things, but at least these three.
Okay.
And so it helps you decide if I'm going on or not going on. So time is not really a good factor to use to measure when to get married or not when to get married.
Okay. So in essence, what you're trying to say there is that there's no really a hard and fast rule whether you should marry your friend or marry somebody and try to get the friendship. It's about knowledge.
Yes, it's about knowledge.
Okay.
But if you follow what I said, it's a recommendation. It's friendship, courtship, engagement, and marriage.
Okay.
So if you follow that, it means you should marry your friend. Build a friendship first.
Okay.
But the mistake or the difference is that when generally we talk about marry your friend, it means marry somebody you're personally attached to.
Okay.
But that's not what we mean when we talk about friendship stage.
Okay.
Friendship stage talks about where you are friends with other friends.
Okay.
So if you are friends with other friends, it's not a personal thing.
Okay.
And if it's not a personal thing, it breaks down pressures.
Okay.
Pressures, a lot of pressures, sexual pressures, financial pressures, a lot of pressures because of personalized relationships. Then there's another thing it does. If you're friends with other friends, you learn faster in a group
about the person.
Your friends ask you that kind of question.
Okay.
That guy has he even broken up with Nkechi?
Yeah.
And you say, which is Nkechi? Okay, no, I was thinking he was in a relation with Nkechi. They've told you without telling you that, are you sure this guy is free? The same thing, the girl, is it, that car I saw her yesterday, is it her brother's car? Okay, so it makes you, so that kind of friendship, yes, is good, you have that kind of friendship.
Okay.
But if it's a personal thing, once you declare interest, everybody brings their best foot forward.
Okay.
And as long as there's interest, you will not get to know that person.
Until you enter inside.
Until you enter inside, you now notice that things are different.
I quite agree with this. So in essence, the whole point of marrying your friend is to get to know somebody without pressures.
Yes.
Preferably within a group.
Yes.
Where the person can just be themselves.
Exactly.
And not form or act.
Exactly.
It's like observing an organism, the natural habitat.
Natural habitat, exactly. That is it. For me, that's how you walk with my wife. And so that's what I preach.
Interesting. That's a good word. So let's just talk about this issue of temperament, because this is actually another area that there's a lot of confusion everywhere, because if you come to physics and science, they will say unlike charges attract. Yeah. So if you come to the dynamics of human relationships, you see that if a very quiet person will find it very difficult to stand somebody that is very loud, like two extremes.
Yes.
So in that kind of situation now, do you think that when you want to find somebody to marry, you should go for someone that is direct opposite of you? And if you guys are extremes together, how do you find a balance together? Or do you think that, find somebody that you guys are kind of similar in temperament? What do you have to say on that?
First, Amos 3:3 said, how can they work together except they agree?
Okay.
Except they be agreed, don't mind King James.
Yeah.
Except they agree. And so there must be some points of agreements, points of similarity in character, in person, But then this issue about temperaments, there are a lot of books, psychologists, sociologists that are preaching that it's good to marry opposite temperaments.
Okay.
Opposite primary temperaments.
Okay.
Because they said that people are usually basics of two temperaments and other temperaments.
Okay.
So that's why they said you're a male son, you're a son male, you're a flex son and all that. So they said the basic temperament should be opposite.
Okay.
But the primary temperament should be the same.
Okay.
The secondary temperament should be the same.
Okay.
Now, of course, that's a theory that's not been widely proven, but it makes sense.
Okay.
Why I said it makes sense is if you first, it's fun to marry someone that is opposite temperament.
Okay.
But it's not fun to live with somebody that is an opposite temperament.
Yeah.
Because you walk into a party, you are the loud person. Normally, you notice the quiet person.
Yes.
The quiet person notices the loud person. Who is this person making noise? Who is? So usually, it's easy to get attracted.
They attract
if they are opposite. Yeah. But it's very difficult to live together.
Okay.
Because the loud person comes in, finishes having his bath, throws his towel on the bed. And then his boxers on the shelf and zooms off. The loud person is wondering, can't this guy reason that the towel is not supposed to should be here? And this one should be here, this one should be here. So it brings a lot of issues. So what attracted them ends up leading to the separation. The conflicts in the marriage or in the relationship. So they tell you, let the secondary temperament be the same.
Okay.
That way, if you have, for example, you're a claw male, and she's flag male, the melancholy at least brings the balance between the two of you.
Okay.
This one is flag and is his own. This one is sun and is his own. So that other temperament, at least there will be a point of agreement.
There's a meeting point.
There's a meeting point at least.
Okay.
So, but beyond that, if two people that exactly the same temperament marry themselves, they'll be bored.
Okay.
That's from experience. You notice if both of them are san, so this person gets wild and goes for his own party. This one gets wild and goes for his own party. Yeah. There's no marriage. Yeah. There's no bonding. Everybody's doing their own thing, their own captains. If two of them are the quiet type and they're in the house, you walk into the house, you think it's a graveyard. One is on one extreme, reading something. Another is on another extreme, reading another thing. There's also no bond. Yeah. So that's why they started saying that the secondary temperament should be the same or at least similar.
Okay.
And that way, there's a meeting point somewhere.
Yeah, I've actually heard someone say something in that regard, that find somebody that is not exactly like you, but let it not be extremes that
extreme,
you guys can actually be able to stay together.
Yeah.
So do you think that he supports what you're saying?
Yes, he does. Yes.
Okay.
It's just that he's not putting terminologies.
Okay.
Extreme choleric, extreme temperament.
Okay.
Just marry something close.
Okay.
And it will help.
Okay, I want you to answer this question from the male and female perspective. Okay. Somebody that is looking for somebody to settle down, what in your own will you say is the topmost things to actually look out for?
Okay. Of course, the guys and the ladies, there are a little bit small differences.
Okay.
But let me see if I can bring. Okay, let me start with the guys. If a lady is looking, a guy is coming for a lady.
Yeah.
What do you look out for in a guy?
Okay.
I've been able to summarize most of those things into 4 basic things. Number 1, if you look at Genesis, before God gave Adam a wife,
okay,
there were a few things he provided.
Okay.
First, he gave Adam a house.
Okay.
So we tell people you must have a house, even if it's a 1-room apartment.
You must have a crib.
You must have somewhere.
Okay.
Part of why you need to have somewhere is where you do your business, the other room.
Yeah.
Another reason is, of course, to avoid interferences.
Okay.
Even in the Bible, it said when you get married, you should be alone for 1 year. You should have your personal accommodation.
Okay.
And some people argue, okay, my father's house, I have my room. No, that's not good enough, because at that point, your mother is still around. Your siblings are around, a lot of all those things. So get a house, get 1 room. Even if the toilet and bathroom and the kitchen and everything inside that 1 room, get your 1 room, get your apartment. The second thing he gave Adam was work. Okay. He said, tend the garden. He gave him the garden, then told him to tend the garden and protect the garden.
Okay.
So he work. Now, at this point, it doesn't matter how much is coming in. But yes.
Jay-Z ladies just walked out. They just walked out.
We're coming to them.
They walked out. It doesn't matter how much.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Ladies of these days.
Well, anyway, when I come to the ladies, we'll find out if they are qualified to work out.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how much.
Okay.
Point is that this guy is earning an income.
Okay.
Now, even if he's working in his father's establishment, he's earning an income. There is a definite income he's earning.
Okay.
Whether he's working with his brother, he's working with his father, he's working with government, he's doing his own thing as an income coming in. And then, thirdly, is that he's been able to, the Bible said that he that finds a wife finds a good thing. And finding a wife, in our tradition, what we preach is that a woman leaves his family and joins the man. But that's not what the Bible said. The Bible said, for this reason shall a man leave his family. Yeah. Not a woman leave his family. So he needs to get to that point where he can comfortably separate from his own family. Okay. Emotionally, psychologically, not physically, particularly, but that emotional separation. So it's not like in the middle of the night, somebody calls him, he abandons his wife. That's my sister, I want to go and attend to my sister. There is this argument Gen Zs make. Your sister is not your wife is not your sister.
Your sister,
Who is more important?
Who is more important?
Covenant is stronger than that thing they're talking about. When you get married, you enter a covenant. If you want to understand it, as a cultist, you give a cultist a gun to kill his blood brother, he will. Because it's covenant.
He's bound by blood.
He's bound by blood. And you know this quotation we make that blood is thicker than water is an incomplete quotation. Blood of covenant is thicker than water of birth. So it's not blood of that you gave birth, we gave birth to us together. It's a blood of covenant. It's thicker than the water of birth. So covenants are stronger than biological relationships.
Because you actually see these days there is this. I don't know where this ideology started creeping out. Where a man gets married but still sees his wife as
an outsider.
An outsider, yes.
Oh, no, it's covenant. You entered into a covenant with that person, and it's binding. It's any other person outside that covenant, including your mother, including my mom. It's something I needed to let my mom. I'm the only son. So I should have that kind of pressure from in fact, my mom started putting it up. And I told her, God, calm down. And there were a lot of fights you had. If you don't fight it on time before you get married, you will not have a good relationship. You don't have a good marriage. Today, my wife and my mom are best of friends. In fact, they do cure on my head. You know, they plan, when they finish planning like this, I'll be wondering, what he said, his mommy, oh, his mommy. And then I'll be looking at them and say, okay, my mom now understood that the best way to get my attention is to get my wife. Win my wife, not to fight my wife. So she wins her, and then two of them will connive against you. So
because this is actually important, because if you go all over social media and we see this thing about mother-in-law troubles and the rest. So in essence, you should try and befriend your mother-in-law.
Yes.
You should try and befriend
Actually, it should be the other way around, self. But let's leave it at befriend your mother-in-law. Well, mother-in-law, if my mom needs me, the easiest way to get me is to get my wife. So it's not by calling me, I'm dying, you know. Sometimes she's ill, she doesn't call me, she calls my wife. And then my wife now called me, mommy says she's sick. I said, she didn't tell me now, go and sort it out. I said, no, it's your mom. I said, no, it's you they called. Okay.
So the next point now for the guys.
So if for me, if I'm looking for a wife, of course I found, so any other guy that is looking for a wife, there are a few things I will look early to look out for. Beyond the beauty, which I said attracts. When you get attracted, then you look for beyond the beauty. This generation has something they don't want to believe exists. You are called to be a helpmate. What are you coming to come and help me with? But the mindset that they're coming with is soft life. I want to be taken care of.
Baby girl treatment.
No, this in fact is God created the woman to be a help to meet a man's need.
So in essence now, the lady has to be clear what she's coming to the guy to help.
Come and help with. And if I'm a guy looking for her, I'm looking at what is she coming to come and help me with. I have a project. I don't want to use a project, but let's assume it's a project. I have a project. I have a vision for my life. Which aspect of this vision can she help
this
with?
lady help?
Yes. That's very important, and that's why I was looking at teachability. She at that point might not be able to fit in, but can I teach her to fit in? Yes. So it's important to look at that. Don't just marry, because if you marry somebody that doesn't fit into your vision, you guys would have different visions. Division, which is what causes divorce. So look out for what she bringing. And when I say again, not money, what she bringing to the table is not necessarily money. It's what is she coming to help me out, which could include money. So for this, for Ruth, the first thing she thought of is, let me go and find something to help my mother-in-law with. And she started going out, started looking for food for her mother-in-law. It was in the process of looking for food that Boaz noticed her. She came back and told Boaz, there's this guy that is eyeing me. So you see the next point of responsibility. Responsibility in the sense that she's responsible to somebody. She's answerable to somebody. She's not an independent woman. You know what we call independent woman is somebody that I can do whatever I want to do. Doesn't listen to anybody. No, you can still find women like my wife is an associate professor, and you will never know. She doesn't talk about it. If not that, if you don't meet her in her office, you won't even know she has a PhD. Talk less of being an associate professor. It doesn't show anywhere. But you find this one, do you know me, that I've done this, I did that, I've established this one, I've established that, and who cares? So it needs to be responsible to somebody. The guy comes up, he talked in Ruth's case, he went to her mother-in-law, told her, there's this guy, her mother-in-law sat her down and gave her some beautiful cues. Said, next time, when you're going to walk, not even when you're going to see the guy, have a bath, put on a good perfume, wear your best clothes. You see the role of a mentor, because you think you know it. You think you understand this man, you think you understand these things. They'll use you and dump you. But when you have somebody else that have gone ahead of you and gives you, so I'm looking for, that's a part of that teachability. Who is she answerable to? If I need something done and done beyond my powers, who do I pull? Who do I call? Who do I talk to about it? And so I've talked about what's the first thing I talked about, the lady? Having a sense of work, a sense of responsibility. Two is having a mentor, having somebody you're answerable to. Now, the third thing you find about this lady, I can leave that part, is willingness to follow.
Okay. Is it the same thing as submission?
Yes. Yes. It's just that the word has an issue with the word submission. But then you can't throw it away. Because we can't have two captains in a ship.
Okay.
And except if we are trying to say that it's not good for a man to be the head of the family.
Yeah.
If you want to be the head of the family and it works for you guys, first, you know you're not practicing Christianity.
Okay.
Because you can't write your own Bible. You're not practicing Christianity. If you have any other tradition you're practicing, go ahead with it. And then the woman becomes the head of the family, and then you don't need to submit to the guy. And the guy submits to you. So I don't know about them, but if we are talking about what of things in Christianity and what is written in the Bible, the woman needs to learn submission. Okay. And you don't learn it in marriage. You have to learn it before. But the interesting thing is that they submit at work. When they get to the office, they have a manager that is younger than them.
Yes.
They submit.
Yeah.
They get to a train station. They submit. They enter a bus, they are traveling, or a flight, they are traveling. And the pilot is younger and is a make they submit. But when it now comes to the house, they tell you no, that whatever, I can't submit. I don't understand it. So, submission doesn't make you inferior. Submission doesn't make, like I'm saying, my wife got associate professorship before me. And it did not change anything. It doesn't change anything. And so submission doesn't make you inferior. There's this Bible verse that we normally read. They say that women are weaker vessels.
Yeah.
I love that Bible verse. And I normally give an analogy with it. A weaker vessel doesn't mean an inferior vessel.
Yeah.
If you bring an iPhone 3310, for those of you that know Nokia 3310, and you bring an iPhone 15, or even 14, and bring both of them, one of them obviously have a weaker vessel.
Okay.
The one that has a weaker vessel is iPhone.
Is iPhone, yes.
You brace both of them and allow them to fall. iPhone will crash, will shatter. Nokia 3310 is not up to probably 60,000 naira. The iPhone is in 1 point something million naira. So the weaker vessel doesn't mean an inferior vessel.
And everybody now will choose the iPhone over the
3310. And the Bible said, if you understand that they are weaker vessel, that means they are fragile, they're easily broken. You understand that you need to take care of them.
Okay.
You have an iPhone, the way you carry it is not the way you carry your 3310. In fact, we used to make jokes that you can throw mango, you can
pluck fruits.
Fruits with your...
The interesting thing in this area of submission is that each party has their own responsibility.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that the burden of the man is even higher.
A lot higher.
Of the woman.
Yes.
Because when Bible says a lady should submit, you're submitting to a man. And when you submit to a man, that man should be able to protect you.
Provide for you. Yes.
Should be able to direct you. Should be able to even lay down his life for you.
Exactly. That's the point.
That's actually the point that a lot of people don't see.
They miss out.
They miss out on it. Yeah. But the thing there, you obviously understand that because men are not standing up to their responsibilities.
Yeah.
And that's why these women are rebelling. Because I strongly believe that if men in the society now, we're actually living up to their society, these women who are clamoring for independence and issues around submission are going to be greatly minimized.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I agree with what you say 100%. A woman should submit. A man too should live up to his own responsibility. Yeah.
There's something that helps in that, because I noticed that why a lot of men are not able to lead is that they were not even led.
Yes.
Most men just grew up.
Yeah.
There was no leadership role, there was no father role, there was no leadership, any form of leadership in their life. And so you can't do what you don't know.
Yes.
So because they were not led, they can't lead. So one of the things I advise ladies is, if a guy is coming into your life, one of the things I didn't mention that is check if he has leadership over his life.
Wow. A father figure,
a mentor, or something over his life. Because it will save you a lot. Nobody knows it all. Nobody, even that mentor that you even submit to, nobody knows it all. But it will help you. It will help you a lot. For example, there's something I have with my wife. I told her, say, see, anytime you are telling me, talking to me about something, and it looks like I'm not hearing you. Just tell me you're going to report me to. I mentioned somebody's name. And of course, he has worked once, and I don't need it to work again. That's my mentor, and the man doesn't take things lightly with me. The man deals with me like a child, and I don't like it. And so to make sure he doesn't do it again, I make sure I don't do what warrants my name being mentioned with him. So find a man that is being led, that understands leadership.
That submits to an authority.
That submits to an authority. Because even when Christ was talking about it, he said that just as the church submits to Christ. And you look at Christ, each time he talks, he said, I cannot do anything without my Father's permission. So the Christ that the church is submitting to is submitted. So the man that the lady should submit to should be a man that is also submitted.
Submitted to somebody.
So that way, it makes it easier. And it also makes it easy for the woman to lead the children.
Because there is this thing about men, we usually have our ego. So even for the best of men, they have this tendency to act outside their boundaries and overdo things.
Oh, we can. Somebody was telling me that he said, I cannot sit on the same chair with my ego. So it's that bad.
I see. So that means every lady that wants to get married should make sure that this man has someone he listens to. Yes. Has someone that can caution him.
Well, if it's his father, another mentor, or somebody else that he listens to.
That's a huge one. That's actually a huge one. So there is this other thing that we hear in the relationship world, or maybe that you can't find a perfect person. They will always tell you, like, especially for the matured single ladies and single guys, they'll be like, settle down, just find somebody and settle down. You never find a perfect person. Where is that line between looking for a perfect person and actually knowing what you want and going for it and not settling down for less? Because you can't find a perfect person. A lot of people have used because of that to settle for somebody they know that compromise on some certain key factors. So where is that line between settling for less and also looking for a perfect person?
Philippians chapter 4 verse 8 said, finally, brethren, whatever things that are pure, whatever things are good and godly. So there are a number of things, even when you are not looking for a perfect person, you need to find, there's this word we normally use, find a good man.
Okay.
Oh, that thing. Let me give you an example of a good man. A good man, you're quarreling with somebody, you're quarreling with your guy, and you hit your leg on the stone and it's bleeding. And the guy comes around, you're still quarreling, you've not settled, goes and picks a tissue or something, a towel, and cleans the blood. And maybe applies a medication and continue the quarrel.
That's a good man, right?
Yes, that's a good man. So it's not because we are quarreling and then somebody calls me, your wife had an accident, and say, have you called police? You people should call ambulance. No, that's wickedness. And so that you need to, that's why the Bible said, find whatever that is good, whatever that is true, whatever that is noble. So even when you're not looking for perfection, find a good man. When you're not looking for, find a good woman.
Okay.
Oh, it does a lot. It does a whole lot. Sometimes I'm having an issue with my wife. I come back and then she comes. That's how you even know we have an issue, that she has not forgotten the issue. We have rice and plantain. She wants to serve, but then her heart is not right. We have plantain. Is it with right? Do you want it with this or with that? And if I want to be naughty, I'll just answer her casually like that. I should go and bring the food. She'll go and bring, here is your food, sir. So, of course, when she gets to that point, I say, calm down. Okay, I'm sorry. Even when I'm not wrong, if it doesn't matter, apologizing doesn't mean you have accepted wrong. It's just that you value this relationship more than whatever else. And whenever I say, I'm sorry, he said, are you apologizing because you're wrong? I said, no, it's not because I'm wrong. It's just that I love you. That's why I'm saying I'm sorry. So, but okay, come, let's talk. What is the issue? That opens her up to talk about the issue and you resolve it. Okay, so, but if you marry somebody, you don't marry a good person. The person, you can come in, as he hears the sound of your car, enters her room and locks her door. You go, hunger will kill you that night. You know, and then you knock, you want to do bedroom, you want to have sex and all, she locks you out. Yeah, but if you marry a good person, so it's not about being perfect. And of course, don't go and marry. That's why I started with knowledge. Make sure you know who you're marrying. Make sure you know that person. Yeah, a few things about that person. You can't just
a few key things.
Few key things. Don't go just wake up and go and marry somebody because they said
you can't find it.
You can't find the perfect person. So whatever that is lovely, whatever that is admirable, whatever that is excellent, whatever is praiseworthy, and go for it. What are people saying about that person? What are your friends? Of course, your friends can also tell you, maybe because they are in competition. Tell you that guy, don't marry that guy, and then you drop the guy. One of them will go and collect the guy. Okay, so but then, what are people saying about him, her, and all that?
Yeah, I actually believe that thing is a key thing.
Yeah.
That thing is, if you want to find out about, there's nobody that fell from the sky.
Yes.
Up to the point of getting to marry somebody, that person must have had interactions from primary school, secondary school, college, all those things. That person has had interaction. Nobody just fell from the sky. And people hardly change, actually, from experience, people hardly change. So it's easy to just trace that person back to, okay, what kind of a person was this person in secondary school, university, all those kind of things you get. So I actually, that point is actually very, very valid. What do people say about that person? Yeah.
People hardly change. I like the word hardly. They can change. A lot of things cause people to change. Okay. But then, you don't marry and expect somebody to change.
Okay.
Because the change factor is not within your hands. For example, if the person was not born again, and then gets born again, a change process starts.
Okay.
And then, so a few things, like me, if my wife had married me before I got born again, the kind of person she will marry is wonderful. So people, that one is a factor. Another thing, encounters, what I call encounters are not necessarily spiritual encounters.
Trauma.
Yes, trauma can occur to a person and cause a change. There's another change factor. It's not really a change factor, but people think it's a change factor. And that's power, all indices of power.
Okay.
When you talk of indices of power, you talk about money, you talk about politics, you talk about... these indices of power do not necessarily change a person. They amplify a person.
What has already been there?
Has always been there.
Okay.
They just amplify what probably has been lying low, what some people do not know about the person, he amplifies it. So if a person is a stingy person, he gets more money, he becomes more stingy.
More stingy,
If a person is a wayward person, he gets more money, he becomes more wayward. If a person is a friendly person, he gets more money, he becomes more friendly. So money, since he started making money, he changed. No, the person didn't change.
What was already there?
Has always been there, just got amplified. Okay, so it's good to note that people, but you marry and hope to change the person, you're joking. Male or female, especially for the females. Don't worry, when I marry him, he will change. The mother that had him for 30 years didn't change him. It's you that just met him yesterday that want to change him.
And there's one thing, even if a guy wants to change because of a lady, is the best chance of him changing is when he's wooing her.
Yes.
Because trust me, guys can do a lot of things to get a lady.
Yes.
So if he doesn't change when he's wooing you, is it when he has gotten you that he's going to change?
One of the people I've helped, God has given me the grace. I've celebrated about 9 marriages. People I trained and was part of their, not people I just went to church for, people I took through the process and got them to wed and all that. And there was this one, both of them were under me and my wife. So when they decided to get married, we spoke to the lady. I said, delay this thing. Usually women, we casually say it. The women hold the brake while the men have the accelerator. The man is trying to pull, let's get. He says, you are the one that is holding the brake. Match the brake. He said, no, do you know how long I've been praying for this guy? I've been trusting God for this guy, and he has just proposed. Let's get married. He said, there are some things I will want to work. I didn't tell her this. I said, just delay this marriage. Just give me 2 more months.
Okay.
He said, sir, why? I said, I can't tell you why. Just give me 2 more months. And she insisted that she's getting married. And I knew it was good for them to get married. So I allowed them to get married. It wasn't up to 1 month, 2 months into the marriage, complaints started coming. And she was the first to bring up her complaint. I told her, but I told you give me 2 months. See that 2 months now, you've not finished spending it. And you're already complaining. And that thing took 2 years to eventually fix. What would have taken 2 months, to fix. Because what I wanted to do was use the girl as a bait.
Okay.
Oh, you want to marry this girl? Okay, you can't marry this girl until you sort out this. Work on this and work on this.
Okay.
But I didn't want to tell the girl because it might also make the girl say, I don't want the girl. But I know they were a perfect fit for themselves. It was just this one. And so, because of that, it took them 2 years of struggles, of being on each other's neck to fix that thing. So, people change. They can change if there is a definite change. The change is not arbitrary, and some of them cannot change themselves. It takes an external force
to change.
Either a natural external force or something external.
Act of God.
Act of God, yes.
to change
people.
Yes.
So it's marrying people and expecting them to change is not.
It's a very huge gamble.
Gamble.
It's a very huge gamble. So the wrapping this up, the final things I want you to shed more light on is what do you say about people coming from different background, different culture, maybe different religion, that kind of thing? Is it actually a must that for you to marry somebody, you guys have to be like from similar, maybe upbringing, similar cultural background, or even religion, as the case may be?
I mean, it's like what we talked about, the temperament thing.
Yeah.
Let me start from that point. It's good that a couple that is trying to get married, either are from the same background, or have understanding of each other's background.
Okay. And the peculiarities.
Yes, yeah. I'll start from there before I get to religion, because religion is a very serious issue. My sister married Kogi.
Okay.
And there was this thing, I don't know, I'm sure it's not true, but they say about, is it Kogi or Benue people, that there is a tribe where they use their wife as kola nuts. Because I asked my brother-in-law, the guy said he has never heard about it. But let's assume it's true. And then my sister coming from the Igbo tradition, and then crosses over to Kogi State. Yeah. And then one day somebody visits. So you see that fight. But let's bring it closer. Even during traditional weddings, you go from Anambra State to go and marry a lady from Imo State, and then the lists they give you, the kind of things they give you, you're wondering, what was this? Yes. So that alone is enough to set off issues. My cousin married in Imo State. We left the trad place by 1 a.m. Literally by 1 a.m. We got there by 10 a.m. and left by 1 a.m. Because of arguments upon things. And then eventually when we left, the guy swore that he would never enter his in-laws' house again. It took 4 years. And the woman being very sick, his mother-in-law became very sick. And the wife now started begging, call the cousins, said, please, that's my husband should find a way and forgive these people. And then we'll call the guy and say, God, I'll not be like that now. Which one be like this? He said that they have collected everything they want to collect in his life. They collected it to us. Okay, so those peculiarities, if you're going to cross cultures, you're going to cross traditions, you need to understand those peculiarities and know how to manage them before you cross over. And then, if you carry those peculiarities to religion is very sentimental. People, when they're religious, it's on another level. And it's so bad that, knowing what I know now, I will not even advise, I'm not saying it's wrong, but I will not even advise somebody that attends Christ Embassy to marry Deeper Life. 2 of them are Christians, 2 of them are even Pentecostals, 2 of them are even tongue-talkings and spirit-filled and all those things. Not because if they marry, they'll go to hell or that is wrong to marry. That is wrong, Their dogmas and religious peculiarities
Are different.
They are very different. This one ties hair, this one doesn't tie hair. This one believes that all you need to do is, Lord, I'm sorry for what I did,
yes,
and you move on.
Yeah.
The other one means that you have to really sit down and pray and talk to God about your sins and all those things. So these little peculiarities can bring in a wedge in a relationship.
Even when you guys married, it will very difficult to be happy because let me not say the ultimate goal, but everybody that is hoping to get married or settle down with a partner is aiming to be happy.
Yes.
With the person,
yes,
to live a happy, peaceful, and fulfilled life with that person, and all these things are things that can hamper that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
One day the man wakes up and tells you that they told us to bring our first son as sacrifice. You start arguing, what do you mean? It's his covenant. You can't stop him from doing his covenant. Yeah. And you one day you wake up and say, we are doing pastor's honor in my church. Yeah, I want to carry the money, all the money in the house and do pastor. You say, what kind of nonsense is that?
Yes,
so you'll be having unnecessary clashes.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for that perspective. So, finally, this was like a bonus question.
Okay.
Like a bonus question. You know, like a lot of our viewers are people, obviously. Okay, if they are not yet in a committed relationship, they are looking for, okay, I hope to be in a committed relationship. What are the practical tips that you can give to find your own life partner for the guy and for the lady?
First of all, is trust God.
Yeah.
Now, God wouldn't find you a partner.
Okay.
You know, that's one of the things taught us growing up. That God will give you your own wife, your own husband. God doesn't do it. He has never done it. He's not planning to do it. The reference they normally make where God did it is in Genesis. That God found a wife for Adam. Okay. But if you really read Genesis, he didn't find a wife for Adam. And we can go to Genesis chapter 2, I think it's from verse 21. The Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam, and he slept. Now, before this point, God was in the business of trying to, I think it's verse 17. He said, it's not good for a man to be alone. Okay. I'll make him a helpmate. Okay. The immediate next verse, he now said that he now caused all the animals to pass before Adam to see what Adam will call them.
Yeah.
So, and whatever Adam called them, that is what they were. And he now got to the next verse, said, but for Adam, there was not found a helpmate. We read, I think it's verse 17 separately, read verse 19 separately, and throw away verse 18. No, all the three verses are related.
Okay.
He was looking for a wife for Adam. He found a group of wives, potential wives for Adam. All the animals, and Adam rejected every one of them. The next verse said, for Adam, there was none found. And then the verse I now talked about, verse 21, man said, he now caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam and formed the woman and brought him to Adam the same way he brought the other animals to see what Adam will call him. It was Adam that said, wow, this is woman, this is a bone of my bones, she shall be called woman. So it was Adam that decided that this is the one I want. So what I'm saying is, trust God. God will bring you to a place where you have options. Okay. And then it's up to you to make your choice, male or female, to choose from those options which one. So Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. That your understanding will fail you. Yeah. In all your ways, submit to him. And then the second thing is, you find it in a lot of places. In 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 39, Paul was talking about a widowed woman that wants to remarry. And the only condition he gave for that woman to remarry, he said, marry anybody you want as long as the person is in the Lord. Okay. So all these things about every other thing, basic thing is, like that, it boils down to what I said, is he a good person? Is the person good? And you need knowledge to be able to find out if the person is good. Yeah. So, is he a good person? Is he somebody you can relate to? Is he somebody you can cry with? Is he somebody you can, sincerely tell how you're feeling, and they will not use it against you? Because basically I think that's the main thing. Because we cry, we have issues. Sure. And so you need somebody. That's what marriage is about. It's teamwork. Yeah. And with a leader, but it's a teamwork. Yeah. Every team has a team lead, but it's a teamwork. And so no single individual can run alone. Yeah. And for a team to be effective, a team has to look at the strengths and the weaknesses of each other.
Okay.
And it comes back to what we asked, what we're talking about, complementing temperaments.
Yeah.
Somehow, the two should complement what they have. If two of you are strong in an area, two of you will be lacking in the next area.
Yeah.
So if this person is strong in this area, this person should be complement in this other area. So, in summary, find somebody that fears God,
Okay.
has a fear of God. Not that he attends church. Not that his mother is a pastor, his father is a pastor. Find somebody that fears God. Find somebody that is a good person. Find somebody that respects you, male or female. If the person respects you, there are certain things the person cannot do. For example, you dress badly and come out in public. Because, if I can, you see the way you're looking, and see where the person respects you. So the person can walk up to you and say, how you come wear this kind of thing, come out outside? Talks to you personally about whatever is happening. There are certain things my wife will do. I look at it. I'll take note of it. We won't talk about it when we get home. I said, babe, now that thing you did. I said, what did I do? She starts talking about it. For example, when we're in a meeting yesterday, I'm sorry I'm taking this time, but we're in a meeting yesterday, and we're talking to a group of people, and then somebody asks a question. I looked at my wife, and she nodded. I misinterpreted the nod. I thought what she was talking about is answer her.
Yes.
So I went on and answered. When we finished, and then she just came to me as if she wanted to hug me, and then said, I told you I wanted to answer her, and you didn't give me the mic. So I said, when? He said, when I nodded. I said, oh my God, I'm sorry. That I thought the nod was I should go ahead.
Yes.
That I didn't understand. I'm sorry. She said, no, it's okay. It's just that I wanted to say some things. I said, I'm sorry. And we're fine. Now she would have said, give me the mic. I want to say something. I want to say, you people don't want to give me mic here. You know, so it's, if you marry a good person, marry somebody that understands you, then marry a teachable person. Marry somebody that you can teach, that can also teach you. I think that is a summary of this whole thing.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being on this episode with us. It has actually been an awesome moment. So,
thank you.
Our dear viewers, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for watching. If you found any value from this video, just ensure you subscribe. Leave a comment. If there is any part of this video that you have a contrary opinion, let's know in the comment section. Let's get a feedback on what you think from this video. I'm going to be connecting with you personally to answer your questions, anything you have to ask, whenever you make a comment in this comment section. So I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Thank you once again for watching. Yeah.